Right, looks like we're going to be starting without him. That's fine. Let's get going.
The Shield War is also not my best setup, in my opinion.
Almost a really good composition. Almost. Mercy's main value in this comp is going to be just protecting the Zen. But, oh well. Not a whole lot you can do about it. I would consider swapping to a soldier, swapping the Genji to a soldier, if you could. The reason you don't want to take Mercy in with a dive is because Mercy's pretty vulnerable. And when you play a dive like this without a soldier or a Widowmaker, Mercy doesn't have anyone to fly back to if shit hits the fan. Which it inevitably will if you're carting a Mercy around with you. So, it's not so much that Mercy's bad with dive, it's just that she's bad with Tracer and Genji dive. If you've got a soldier or a Widow or a Pharah or anyone that Mercy can fly to that isn't going to be like melee range, then she's fine. Good even, because of the damage boost. And she can keep Zen alive quite nicely between the res, because Zen likes to play back, so he's less likely to be protected, his body's less likely to be guarded. And the healing beam, which is a pretty solid way to keep anyone alive.
And she absolutely ruins Ryan, so...
Yeah, she helps Ryan, mostly because she ruins the other Ryan. Well, not
XD.
only that though. Orisa, like, the big thing to counter...
Yeah, Brigitte is almost certainly going to be more help to Orisa than she is going to be to Reinhardt, which I find to be rather unfortunate.
I'm jumping Mercy, backline.
Genji's one.
Oh. Oof. Oof. Okay, so let's see. How could you have beaten that Genji? So, when you're playing Genji versus Tracer, so Genji's general modus operandi is going to be, I'm going to throw shurikens at someone to get them low, then I'm going to Swift Strike in, do a cute little combo, and finish them off. That's his thing, because he's pretty low damage, so he can't just get into a straight fight with somebody. However, there is an exception to this, and that is Deflect. Now, Genji's basically got two tricks, and he's going to try and use one of them to get you to recall, and one of them to finish you off. My personal preference is to use Deflect to shoot it, to get a Tracer to shoot herself in the face. She recalls, and then I use Swift Strike to finish her off. That's my preference.
To counter, I'm jumping Mercy, backline.
Right. So,
Genji's one.
you're pretty low health. Yeah, he's going to land all three shurikens on you. Yeah, looks like he gets a headshot. Okay, so what happens here is, so 3 shurikens is, I want to say... I think I know, I think it's like... we were just talking about this, it's 28 times 3, which gives us 54 damage. Maths. So he lands 3 shurikens on you. If they're all headshots, this becomes 108. You are at 94 health, so he needs to land 2 headshots to kill you, or 5 shurikens. Now what I suspect happens is he hits 1 headshot, and then, so, you know, plus 2 normal ones, so that's 4 shurikens, which is going to be 80... No. Oh, what should we do maths live? 102 damage, which is enough to kill you. So he lands 1 headshot, or he might land 0 and deflect some bullets. Either way, you shoot his Swift Deflect a little bit, he Swift Strikes, whatever. So what was the mistake here? Well, you engaged him on low health, for 1, and for 2, you didn't really do anything to stop him from just killing you.
And got lucky deflect.
Best targets here would be the Junkrat and the Lucio as far as diving goes.
Honestly, I wouldn't look too deep into that particular Genji fight. But like, you did go in on a tiny amount of health. Because if you remember, Genji by default reduces your health by 50, so you only have 100 health. So again, that means he needs to land 5 shurikens on you, or 2 headshots plus 3, or 3 headshots plus 2. Whatever. No, 3 plus 1. Anyway, he needs to land at least 4 shurikens on you if he's a god. But if you go in with 90 health, you are at 50 health. You reduced your effective health in half.
Right
More
side,
than.
They still have a mini. Let's try and
So
kill her.
don't do that against a Genji. Certainly don't if he's got all his cooldowns up, which he
Genji.
did.
He's overextended, no dash.
Okay.
He was back in mech.
You're taking a lot of chip damage.
Mercy's half.
Dead.
There's a
Right.
Winston.
I'm no expert on Tracer by far. But if we go back and watch this again. You're letting people acquire you.
I'm on Genji. He's overextended.
So
no
she
dash.
starts shooting at you. She gets a full second of pumping damage into your body before you blink.
He was back in mech. Mercy's half.
Dead.
So, yeah, in general, you're just kind of letting people shoot at you, which I'm not a huge fan of. Like this, what you're doing now is fine. But anytime anyone actually notices you, you don't really do anything about it.
Lucio one.
I feel like I need to do more research on Tracer players. You know what? Let's take a look. So this is apparent soon playing Tracer, a name I'm vaguely aware of.
Team comp that I've always wanted.
Okay, so watch him now. Let's see what he does. So he starts taking... He's tanking damage. So he goes in, as soon as he takes damage, he blinks out. Maybe as soon as he sees people. But you see his health is consistently staying above 100. Big rip. This is highlights. I don't want to see highlights.
Should. Other than that, all good though.
And let's skip to like the mid.
Oh man, yeah, that's the game throw. If your Ana had saved you, you would have been alive
Oh shit, Bishop stream. That's cute.
for the sound
stream
barrier,
within a
and you could've
stream.
been- Your damage is like 100%. See.
Okay. Again, not quite what I'm looking for.
86. Should. Other than that, all good though.
Watch me being vain there. No, it's
Kinda
just more
walk
soon.
straight into the enemy team, and they don't try to do this poke.
Fucking hell. Like, I get YouTube, all everyone wants to see is the clips, but I actually want to see, like, full gameplay. Either way. Oh, this is like Season 1. It doesn't matter with Tracer, because Tracer's always the same.
What the fuck? May! You troll!
This is cute.
Kill that man. Good.
But you can see he's really not taking a whole lot of damage. Like his team won this fight,
Deadass.
so let's skip ahead a bit. You can see, okay, so the way that he's avoiding damage is he's not approaching from the front. He's always behind people. He's never giving people an opportunity to shoot at him. And the only time that he does is when it's against
Can you
Lucio.
die, please?
You see, as soon as more people start to deal with him, he just kind of, he recalls out, he moves out of the way. But you see, like, as soon as people acquire him, he blinks out of the way.
He killed himself. Is he not gonna play in Ghost Cup today? I think so. We signed up for it, so.
Yeah, unfortunate that one. But you see, yeah, so when he dies there is because he lets the soldier choir on him too long.
Good, the carry's dead. Now we just need to kill this guy.
You see, once again, he's not letting people take good shots at him.
Now we need to kill this guy.
Okay. I hope I was probably blocked for that whole fucking thing. God damn it. Pro stream. Okay, victorious.
Hello.
Oh, how you doing? Right, you probably see I'm looking at a Show4 stream.
Okay.
The reason for that is I wanted to do a little bit of research on this sort of thing. Okay, and now I've got to find the spot I lost it. So the thing is, you're taking a lot of damage in this VOD.
Right.
I might have started too early. Fuck. When did you say it was? It was like an hour and a half in? But looking at the Nepal game, you're taking a lot of damage there.
Okay, did you see the link I sent you? Because, I think I might have sent you the wrong VOD, like at the...
Have I got the same one? No, I opened this one instead.
Yeah, I wanted to review, like, an Ambani game. Because it seemed like we were doing well, but then we lost, and...
And you say it's 1.5 hours in?
1 hour, 5 minutes.
1 hour and 5 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's alright. But yeah, what I did notice is you're taking a lot of chip damage, and I'm not a huge fan of that. Tracer doesn't have like shields or anything like that, so most of her sustain comes from the fact that she can always approach from behind.
Okay.
So it's like a game of positioning rather than dodging per se. Come on, guys, coordinate with me.
Keep rolling.
We're getting there. Very slowly, but we're getting there.
We lost you.
This'll do. So, right, so you don't know why you lost this game, and you're sending it to me to try and see if we can figure out why. Yeah?
Yeah, pretty much.
There's no one watching. Oh well. Yeah, I think I streamed too much. I'm probably gonna like condense it down in future.
Yeah, sounds good.
Tracer here.
Visor's many things, but easy to use is not one of them.
Yeah, it doesn't help that the VOD's so long as well.
Yeah, Twitch VODs, it really does not like Twitch VODs. I don't like Twitch VODs either, to be fair. Can we have a Zen, please? This
I believe they were...
idea.
Well, okay. I said for, like, I asked for Moira because we had a McCree, so I thought they had, like, good sort of synergy in terms of, like, they both sort of late fights. That's, like, they both get more value from longer fights.
What makes you think McCree gets more value from longer fights?
What
makes you think Moira gets more value from longer fights?
Okay, well, I didn't mean, like, longer fights. I meant sort of more brawly fights, I guess.
I don't agree that McCree and Moira synergize very well. I think they overlap a lot, in fact. A good synergy is one where where you either get complemented strengths or filled in weaknesses. So Rein and Zarya, really solid synergy. And the reason for that is that Reinhardt has bursts of vulnerability, but is generally pretty safe. Whereas Zarya has bursts of invulnerability, but the rest of the time is pretty sketchy. So they go together very well because they fill in each other's weaknesses.
Okay.
And also you get the range thing. Zarya's pretty long range, as tanks go. Whereas Reinhardt, of course, is very close range, and sort of things like that. You just get a lot of alt synergy between the two, but let's not get into that. McCree and Moira don't really get along because they sort of cover the same thing. So imagine if we were running Reinhardt and Orisa, you wouldn't say that those two synergize. Because they play to the same strengths. So Moira's very good at like keeping a backline secure. She's got good damage, she's got good survivability, and not really any utility. McCree has some utility, but he's also mostly just damage. Damage and backline control. Which is... So they do the same thing. So no, I wouldn't agree that they synergize very well. Right. This is much better.
Yeah.
I was just looking at it. I'm like, this Mercy. No. Mercies make me uncomfortable in Dive when you're running them with Genji and Tracer, because it's like, what are you gonna do if the enemy team jumps you?
Yeah.
The answer is, of course, die, but that's not your problem. Oh, with Genji, Mercy, Moira be... Okay, so Moira's better, because Moira can sort of take care of herself.
Yeah.
But then you've got a soldier, so then this is wrong again. This is why I say trying to play this game isn't worth it. Because odds are, none of these people are on their best heroes.
Yeah.
And it's still a bad composition. So just don't play the game. Let people play the heroes they want to play, and let them just sort of deal with it.
Alright, so...
Right. You know what, I'm just going to let it play. I'm not going to bother skipping ahead. I honestly think it would just be faster.
I got scattered.
Okay.
It's okay, we know they have a Hanzo that's gonna be a good dive target. Let's go right side.
You should be scouting right now. You want to be gathering information for your buddy.
Jumping
Go for it,
high
go. No!
2, 1.
Okay.
Oh.
Why was that wrong?
Because I just walked directly into him.
There's two reasons. There's two mistakes you make here. Starting
Jumping high ground.
now, you start firing. Let's pretend that you're playing Reaper. Is this smart, or is it smarter to get closer to him first?
Smart to get closer.
Right. Now, Tracer and Reaper are very similar in terms of their weapons. So why don't you just, like, blink and then start shooting? Why do you want to play at this range? This is the range Zen wants to keep you at. Why do you want to play at this range? Okay, and then you blink straight at him. So this is what I was talking about before. You don't... Like, this thing where you blink straight at someone is fine as long as you do it from, like, this angle. Any of these angles, where you're coming from the side or from behind. Because then they can't shoot at you. But you didn't move on Zen's screen at all. You're actually, like, you might as well have just stood still. Which is why he lands a headshot on you. So, if you're going to blink, you have to blink in such a way that you move relative to this person's camera.
Okay.
And if you're going to ambush someone, you want to do it at melee range.
I realised the flaw in this plan.
Because if you start shooting him at melee range, what's he going to do about it? If it was McCree, he can flashbang you. But it's not McCree, it's Zen. All he can do is back up, try and put distance between him and you. So, and then there's one other advantage to playing at melee range, and that's that if you're here... no. If Zen is here, and you're here, and you blink like this, he now has to turn, this is what, like a third of his screen? So that's 120 degrees. If you're a little further back, you blink like this, he now only has to turn 90 degrees. And if you're even further back again, he only has to turn 45 degrees. So you can sort of see why getting closer to him is good in every way. It's good for Tracer, and it's bad for Zen. So, there's the other thing as well is if you want to get close to someone, if you're in this position, you can do this. Oh, and now you're right close to him. And yeah, you only have to turn 90 degrees, but that's not nothing. and also now you're at melee range. So let's say he turns 90 degrees, and now you're over here. So, yeah. Tracer's blink radius is about 7 meters. It's not about 7 meters, it's exactly 7 meters. So you want to try and imagine there's a circle around someone that's about 7 meters across, and you want to be inside this circle at all times. And the reason that McCree is such a threat to Tracer is that his flashbang range is also 7 meters. So he forces you to stay outside of this circle and play at the range that he wants to play at. It's not actually the flashbang that counters you, it's actually just he can shoot at you freely.
Give me a second.
I think I need to change to Mercy.
Right, let's take a quick look at this team. So, this Zen, you can kill him, probably, as long as Moira's not with him. If Moira's with him, don't even bother. This Hanzo might be a bit of a threat to you. This D.Va, try it, and this Reinhardt, you can get either of these if they're alone, but again, not if Moira's with them. This Moira is the person you want to keep track of in terms of their positioning. Not so that you can jump on them, but so that you can jump on everyone else.
Yeah.
Try and keep track of this guy's scatter arrow. If you know if he's used scatter arrow, then it makes it much easier for you to kill him. Most Hanzos will have a bit of a rhythm to them, so they will pull their string so far back and then fire. If you can figure out what this guy's rhythm is, you can dodge very reliably. Human reaction time is about 0.25 seconds. Let's call it 0.4 seconds with ping.
Yeah.
So you want to blink about... You want to blink, let's say, 0.3 seconds before he fires. So even if he's got a ping of 0... No, even if you've got a reaction time of 0, by ping, you will look like you move about 0.1 seconds before he fires. So you should be completely safe if you do that.
So, the Zen or the Hanzo are the targets we'll want to be jumping on. So,
I
let's go
believe
right
the
side
time
again,
to
but
fully
let's,
draw a bow is 1 second. You need to have a good rhythm in your mind as Tracer, and that's pretty easy because of how the guns work.
Okay.
We lost you, Winston.
Play line of sight.
So another way to phrase that is you can't empty a full clip into Hanzo. You have to do half
to the-
clips. Or...
Right.
Little
Okay.
room to the right.
That's a good way of keeping track of it.
Yeah. So actually it means that you can empty 0.4 minus 1 gives you 0.6. You can empty, this amount of your clip, 60% of your clip. Okay, this is much better with Zen, because now you're right on top of him. Very good. Keep the range, keep the range. Okay, you could have blink melee there. Other than that, pretty nice execution. There was, what, 2 clips? Decent.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I like you going for the Moira over going for the D.Va. I don't like your not maintaining range. You've got almost 3 blinks and you've got recall out. So you're safe right now. There's no insta-kills you have to worry about. Moira's used her orb, so the only real threat is that you don't do enough damage to kill her before she heals herself. Now your team is dead, so you got to decide right now, am I going to kill this Moira or am I going to run and hide? And running and hide is valid because Zen's coming. So what you would then be doing is that you would be turning this whole game into a 5 versus 5, where you're just playing cat and mouse with Zen while you wait for your team to regroup. So your decision choice has to be right now. Am I going to chase this Zen? Maybe even get like Moira or D.Va to someone to come back and play that game with them? Or am I just going to die and regroup with my team? And either option is valid. One is obviously more risky than the other, but either one is fine. You just need to know what you're doing. This, where you just hide, is bad. Zen is probably about to come around the corner, and he's like going to triple dink you, I bet.
Yeah.
And I think you sort of made this realization as well, but I don't know if you're moving out of fear or out of like an attempt to kill him off.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I did try and kill him off.
Yeah, I mean, you're a little bit slow. So you've missed your opportunity.
Take high ground left this time.
Recall. Didn't like that, but fine.
Yeah, he could have fire struck and killed me.
Oh, he couldn't have because you had a 104 health. But I'd be more concerned about like Hanzo or something. You could have died there. There's no reason not to recall. So basically, right now your plan is bully the Zen until he bitches at D.Va enough that she comes back to deal with you. So you're currently on 4v... Okay, so your team fight's even right now. So you need to be keeping track of how well the team fight's going. It's currently way in your favor.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely you guys are winning the team fight.
Get you inside.
Yeah. So you guys are about to cap. So moving back to cleanup, I think is probably the correct decision. If the team fight's going poorly, then you just want to invest more time into being annoying in the backline.
Yeah.
Shit.
Perfect.
I'm glad you didn't die to that. Okay.
Would have been really
So
embarrassing.
you've come back to clean up. Right, okay. So you kill the Genji, fine. Now it's time to move back. It's time to go back to spawn and harass them and slow them down.
Shit.
Because you're not getting a huge amount of value here. This is the kind of thing that Soldier or whoever would be better at doing.
Did I need to spawn camp the Zen more? I thought we had it there.
This is fine. You spend a little too long in target acquisition there. So let's watch that again.
Did I need to spawn camp the Zen more? I thought we had it there.
Okay, so you stand here, you move in a straight line with him, you let him get 2 orbs on you. As soon as you see him turn to you, you need to then, like, blink over here and then start backing up with him. You can't let him get 2 orbs on you for free. 1 is acceptable, and 2 just isn't. You recall, though, so you don't get punished for it. You could have. If D.Va was peppering you at the same time, you would have died.
D.Va's one.
Jump here. I'm not gonna get in.
Got it.
In time. That's fine. Okay.
Yeah, this is all fine.
Max.
Okay, so do you know how payload management works?
You usually keep 1 on payload and everyone else pushes
Yeah.
up, so that even when you're losing a fight, you still get progress.
Yes, well, it's actually... So the defenders want to fight on payload so they can fight and contest at the same time.
Yeah.
So your main job is to prevent that from happening, to prevent them from fighting on payload. So what you guys are doing is you're fighting and pushing at the same time, and they want to fight and contest at the same time. That's sort of how this works.
Okay.
The reason that it's normally Zen is because Zen can make it a
Zen can use
6v6
payload.
without...
Everyone else push up.
Yeah, what's that
I
one?
can't see you, Vincent.
Okay. Had you stuck that, would that have been good? Let's see. Well, why did you whiff it? You see the
Zen-
Genji. You don't know he's here, so this is clearly a reaction
Zen
from
needs
you.
to take it-
Um,
needs to take a payload.
yeah. Would have been better if maybe you threw it on the floor. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
Um,
Everyone else push up.
but you made him use deflect, so honestly, you end up killing him. So this, what you just did, is functionally no different from just sticking him.
That's fine.
Right.
I'm looking at their
And that's an important thing to remember, is that as long as you get the results, whiffing it or not isn't that important. Okay, you can't recall up anymore.
Alright.
I can get
Okay,
Then
no,
there's
you cannot play that game with Hanzo. You cannot play the I'm gonna line up with you and get more shots. You can't do that. Because he's just gonna one-shot you.
Yeah.
If
I've
you
been-
have health below 125, he can kill you with a fully charged body shot.
Alright.
I've sort of been like
Back to you.
practicing 1v1s like that. You know, the ones that
Yeah.
are bad for Tracer to like warm up sometimes. And that has become very evident that he can just like delete you.
So Tracer is fundamentally a duelist, right? So I talked a little bit about McCree and why he's a threat to Tracer. Here's the thing. The only reason that McCree's considered a Tracer counter is because he's the only person who can even remotely duel as well as Tracer can.
Yeah.
He's not like a Tracer counter per se. Sombra is like a special exception, but
Didn't realize he was there.
aside from things like that, there's no real good counter to
Your
Tracer.
guys were down.
And even now, Sombra's not
Guys
even
were
that
down
good
with
against
you,
Tracer.
And,
He's got
Yeah.
points.
yeah, just got points, so. Let's just group up
She doesn't have as much
and-
in-fight mobility as Tracer does.
Well, the way Sombra works is that if we can compare Sombra to Tracer, in the same way we might compare McCree to Soldier. So what Sombra does is she trades in-fight damage, or more accurately, in-fight kills. So Tracer has better sort of in-fight ability. Sombra has a better pre-fight ability. So what she does, one of her lines is, what's the fun in playing fair? And that's actually her whole kit, is never take a fair fight. Never take a fair fight, because whatever role you put her in, and you can actually put her in whatever role you want, like you can put her as off tank, off support, or off DPS, and whatever role you put her in, you're at a disadvantage. So you need to then make up for that disadvantage by having moment-to-moment advantages. And the way that she's currently being used is by hacking a tank so that you can dive that tank. Now, I predicted this all the way back at Sombra's release when triple tank with Ana was still a thing, because I'm like, you can just hack a tank and just kill them.
Yeah.
Now that she's finally meta, that is how she's being used. You hack the tank, you jump on the tank, you kill the tank.
Having you on.
So that's sort of why she's in the DPS role, is because not so much because she does a lot of damage. She could be still used as an off support if you wanted to, but more because it's sort of complicated to explain. It's like she's an anti-support
Yeah.
rather than a
She
damage
facilitates
dealer.
getting kills rather than
Yeah.
live.
I'm with you guys.
Okay.
Jumping Zen, great.
I'm going back to payload.
I'm not a fan of that like triple melee.
Yeah, no,
How'd you get this in?
Unnecessary recall.
Yep. I noticed that when I was actually looking for the timestamp. I was like, I didn't need to do that. I had healers with me and it was just a Moira.
This really shit bomb as well.
Yep.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, he's getting pocketed real hard.
Yep. Little did they? Aww.
Okay, you're not doing anything. You're tickling people from mid-range, you're not killing anyone off. Like, okay, we talked about at the start that if Moira's healing someone, don't bother trying to kill them. You literally cannot damage people faster than she can heal them. Unless you one-click them. And I don't know how possible that is with Moira healing them. Maybe if you hit, like, every headshot. It's practically speaking impossible for you to kill someone if Moira's healing them, so don't try, fundamentally.
Yeah.
This is fine.
But that's fine, because Moira has very finite mobility, and you have very, well, not infinite, but less finite. You're much more mobile than she is. So you can bait her into healing Reinhardt or whatever, and then just blink over and just start attacking someone else. And honestly, if your whole job is just stressing the shit out of Moira, that's acceptable. But that's not what you were doing there. You weren't doing enough damage to any one person that Moira was feeling pressured by you.
Has gotten so aggressive playstyle-wise.
I love it.
So the thing about Tracer is you're so flexible. In the same way that Soldier, big part of Soldier's skill set is figuring out where he's most useful. With Tracer, a big part of her skill set is figuring out what's the weakest link on the enemy team and how do I pressure them. So if the weak link on the enemy team is Moira, I don't know if it is, but if it is, then that's the way that you pressure her, is by making her overextend and try to heal everyone at the same time, which you can't really do.
You want to be all the way in their backline killing shit,
Can
and I want the
someone
front
come back to
line to
Windows?
be all the way in their backline killing shit. So,
It's all
we
very nice.
have just sort of this endlessly
Quickly
forward-moving
left.
Okay.
anvil combo.
Yeah, this isn't really a fight you want to take, because you've only got 2 potential places that you can stand.
Like when I'm on Ryan and on Winston,
Three.
just always in their backline causing havoc.
Oh, what was that?
Should have been a
I know.
You've gotten bad pulse bombs all game. Look, if you can't get consistent pulse bombs, just put them on tanks in the middle of the fight.
Yeah.
That was also that I die a lot to overextending because I haven't quite found the balance.
The
but
trying to stick a squishy is a high risk, high reward play that pays off for the pros because they're pros. You won't see pros sticking tanks very often because it's the low risk play.
it's a lot easier.
Okay, so you see what I mean there? You stand still or move in a straight line, which is functionally the same thing, for so long that Hans was able to charge up a shot and kill you. Now I think he already had one charge, so there was a slight unlucky there, but you're not respecting the space that he's generating. Okay,
Yeah.
very quickly look at this team. Now, if this were me, I would swap off, because we've got 1, 2, 3 people that counter you, or at least make your life difficult. Now, you might be of the perspective that if you're a good enough Tracer that you can overcome this, and that's true. If you are a good enough Tracer, you can just like kill the Zen and get value that way. But you're also very close to spawn, so your spawn camping ability isn't super relevant. You can't get very close to people because of these two. You're going to have to constantly switch target because of this person, meaning the only real targets you have is 1, 2, and maybe 3. And like we said, you can't clip the Zen because Moira will come and deal with them. But then you also can't clip the tank because you just don't deal enough damage, and getting into a sustained fight around these two guys is a bad idea. So, honestly, I would switch at this point.
Very true.
Yeah.
Actually.
I did kind of get the feeling I should have switched. But I did also just want to practice Tracer, so...
Yep.
Ooh. Actually. Very wise.
Now, you can ignore the impulse to switch if you want to. and just
I'm gonna put back
because
into
again,
this
if you're good enough, you can do it. But at
Alright.
the end of the day, that comes down to: do I want to win, or do I want to be a better do I want to be a better player, or do I want to be a better tracer specifically? And that's essentially up to you. It's like the one-trick argument.
Ren has
Yeah.
shield. Go on, Valkyrie. Dude, Valkyrie.
Okay. I feel like you could have finished off that Zen there. And now you're blink.
Ren has almost a shield.
You did have a blink up. You could have blink meleeed him. But honestly, like, you're getting into this sort of super committed fight. You're out of blinks.
Nice.
You haven't got anything done.
I'm dead, yeah.
Fortunate.
You're just running around, just trying to get health. Hanzo's trying to chase you and finish you off.
I'm on Hanzo.
You're firing before that moment there. You were firing before you had a target.
Ulting.
Yeah.
So you held on left click before you'd finish your target acquisition.
I'm on Hanzo.
This is
I
much
didn't think
better.
about who. I didn't think about who I was shooting at. I was just trying to put damage into people.
Yeah. If you're gonna do that, play Reaper or honestly, like, there are better targets. That was good. I quite like that.
I'm on where? I'm on.
I really suck at McCree versus Tracer, but there we go.
He's low.
On both sides. Actually, no, I'm better at it than Tracer. I'm a better McCree than I am a Tracer, but I can outplay McCrees much easier than I can outplay Tracers.
Well, it's probably because of how much you play McCree, I would say.
Oh,
That
you
was
got
just pure
that was
luck.
luck. Yeah.
Yeah.
If he was better, you'd be dead.
You're still gonna win
Okay,
this
they've got a
one.
Reaper now, so you're not completely useless. That was bad.
Yep.
Okay, if you had Pulse Bomb now,
You're still gonna win this one. Still get
if you had Pulse Bomb now, you could stick her right now. You're a little too far away for it, but like you could stick her
That
sort of
would've been
meleeing
perfect,
there.
yeah.
That would have been a flawless Pulse Bomb. I would have been like, you know what, congratulations, you just carried the team fight. I'm sorry, what's this? Your team just dropped a nuke.
Oh, I thought that was an enemy one, wasn't it?
Oh, there's also an enemy one. Okay.
Oh.
One of each.
Right. I got those mixed up then.
We can't
Fine.
afford to win anymore though.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't gonna criticize. I was gonna like, if there's a nuke, everything within line of sight of the nuke is a safe space, because no one's gonna be attacking you in that area.
Yeah.
I can get there though.
Ree!
I really hope that was you screaming there, not the Mercy.
It was me.
So, thanks. Play Trace.
Now, I don't like Tracer on defensive first point. I don't like playing Tracer anyway, but I don't like Tracer in a team setting. Oh, fuck, looks like we're stuck. But give it a second. A German boy said ages ago, Moira's good at being in the middle of a brawl, healing at close range, and McCree is good at sitting back out of danger because of his minimal capabilities. I think he's right about that. And McCree wants to use his flashbang to keep people at long range, but he's only got one. I say long range, at mid range.
In this case,
He wants to keep people at a distance because
Oh yeah, you guys do.
he's only got, because that's how his gun works, right? If he gets too
Yeah.
close to people, there's no advantage, but they're harder to track.
Yeah, me up.
Let me
Same thing as with the Zen, like I was talking about earlier. But McCree only has one flashbang, so once he's used it on one person,
Man.
he's kind of fucked.
Sadly, Ryan has
So,
none of those applicable.
McCree would much rather be stood on this high ground shooting down, whereas Moira would much rather be sort of running around on the point here.
Also, like,
Yeah, okay.
It's pretty sad times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like these guys.
Okay. So I don't like this team composition you're running, because it's actually, like, this is bad. Holding on this side isn't inherently wrong. The main thing is that when most people hold on this side, they do it with dive, so they can jump over and contest this high ground as well. By
Right.
giving up this high ground for free, you're leaving yourselves vulnerable to a particular strategy, which is where the enemy team just rocks up with a shield and a bastion and it just kills all of you. That's not an issue for a dive team, because the dive team will just dive the bastion anyway. But
Yeah.
for this sort of team, you leave yourself vulnerable to teams setting up on this high ground and teams setting up on the low ground and pulling the same shit as well. Or just getting a Reaper on point and just fucking you guys at close range.
Okay.
This isn't a very strong strategy. It's not a strategy. It's a strategy that can be easily dealt with by just refusing, by either outdoing you on the high ground with the fact that they can choose their composition and you can't,
They have to get to point.
Yeah.
first.
or
Hog and I drop down to contest if needed.
just by just refusing to engage with the high ground, just standing on point with like Orisa right now and just be like, no, come down and fight us. The one saving grace of this is you, basically. Your job in this team composition is going to be to stall long enough that Widowmaker eventually lands 3 headshots in a row and you guys win the fight by default. Or of course maybe you one-clip someone, like whatever.
Yeah.
But you're not...
Better aim though, Tracer.
You're playing the kind of role that Roadhog might play in
Shield up here that they can't really.
a different composition.
Do you have a diva? Should I throw a halt at her? I'm dropping contest.
I think you're putting a bit too much faith in your Ana for my liking, but it's fine, or it's alright for
Focus
you.
on me.
I would have recalled already, personally. I would have recalled after falling off the high ground.
Holding up.
Reloading.
Yeah, I think.
Because there's no one who's really capable of healing you. But this is so much better because you're standing in the place that they're not shooting, rather than dodging their shots. So it means that you get to unload your whole clip into people and not really care.
Nice. Maybe take high ground.
That's a bad pulse bomb.
Nah.
Yeah, I can just back up the high ground.
Yeah.
Okay,
That was
you
really dumb.
completely disrespected that diva,
Maybe.
and she just deleted you for it.
Nah, maybe not.
Yeah,
Right, high ground, boys.
it was really dumb.
Getting a little too greedy.
All you had to do was blink behind her, and she probably wouldn't have done anything about it. You can bet diva players aren't super used to fighting tracers in their baby diva form.
Holding up.
Lucy up top. He's asleep. Lucy.
Right in
I've
yellow.
got 3 seconds.
Dead. I'm down. It's okay, this is winnable.
Diva up top. Diva's anti up top. And asleep.
Okay, I don't like that you're fighting this Lucio. I think there's better targets. You could have killed that Mercy slightly faster, but honestly,
Yeah.
you don't achieve anything this entire fight. You do a bit, you tickle the Mercy a little bit, but she probably heals it up before it means anything. And then Lucio, and then yeah. So you didn't do anything that fight. You're just on fire from the previous fight.
Yeah, no, the hog did pretty much everything there.
They get stretched on the other side.
The enemy team's trickling as well.
They go to
So
point, they're not
you guys, you could be spawn camping right now. Like you could be way ahead camping people. There's no reason why you couldn't.
Any way to deal with the widow who can jump
Okay.
away at least.
Here's something that's really worth pointing out. They've got, well, first off is these two overlap a lot. So Pharah would be really strong, just saying. But the bit I wanted to point out is that there's no one to keep this Reinhardt alive. Diva Rein is pretty shit, just in general. And Mercy, like if Mercy wants to heal the Reinhardt, she's exposing herself to you diving on her. So you want to be punishing this Reinhardt for overextending super hard. Reaper requires a lot of tank support to stay alive. So this Diva is going to be busy either trying to keep Rein, keep Doomfist, or keep Reaper alive. So you can exploit this. You're definitely the tank buster in this composition. You've got to trust that that Roadhog is going to be capable of dealing with Doomfist. Reaper's not a huge threat because he can't get into high ground easily. And if he tries to, and Ana can sort of deal with these two as well to a degree. So trust that the enemy team your team can deal with the enemy team's DPS. Focus instead on crushing their tank lineup. Once Reinhardt is dead, there is nobody on this team who can contest the point. So your win condition is kill this Reinhardt and the Mercy if she tries to save him, and then to just contest point until the rest of the team gives in to Orisa's hail of bullet.
Send the diva up any way to deal with
Yeah,
the widow
okay.
who can jump away at least once.
Yeah, it requires perfect play to counter.
Right, and this feeds into what I said as well, that big part of Tracer is figuring out who on the enemy team can I kill for maximum value. Because you can kill anyone.
Do that. Alright, back. Dog shield.
Okay. That Lucio's alone. You could tickle him a little bit, but honestly, low value target, so not a whole lot to say on that respect. I don't like you tickling people from this range.
Mostly what it was.
Personally, I'd prefer if you're hiding where exactly you were. This is much nicer.
Think to do that.
I was just trying to get a bit of extra charge on Pulse Bomb.
I'm dropping down. Do you have no bear? Halting. Oh.
Someone doesn't understand their own ult. Oh, you luckied on one of those, but I liked the pulse bombing.
Yeah.
No, 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 no. Focus the Doomfist. The Doomfist first. Always focus Doomfist first if you get the opportunity. If it breaks out into like a chaotic fight like this, always go for Doomfist first. Because Doomfist is super fucking squishy.
Halting her. Aw. I was gonna keep halting her back.
It's the same as like Hog 1.0, right? If he shows up, you've just got to focus him down, and you've just got to kill him.
We've got any ults coming online though, so next push is gonna be brutal. What did they use?
Well,
then?
it would be, but
Okay. So if you know the fight's going to be brutal, why aren't you going forward and doing something about it? Who do we reckon
Yeah.
on the enemy team has ultimate? He's used.
Did Ryan use?
No, I don't think so. I haven't seen that one. Doomfist. Okay, so you can count. You can't counter this one. You can't counter this one. I don't think so. I don't know what the timing is on Boot, but you'd have to predict it, to say the least. But you could take him out early. You could take out Mercy early as well. So here are who exactly do you want to kill with your ultimate? Well, if you're concerned about ult advantage, then your main concern is going to be taking out someone with an ultimate. Well, who are the ultimates you care about? You don't care about Shatter. He can only shatter people who are contesting, and Ana can keep those people alive. So Shatter's not a big deal, because he can't get your whole team, basically. Doomfist could kill someone, could be pretty threatening. I don't know how likely he is to get anything done with it, but maybe. So there's a question mark. This is a no. He's used. Valkyrie. Well, what's your win condition? Well, it's to sort of like out-sustain the enemy team, right? To kill off one or two guys and then out-sustain. So Valkyrie, especially with res mechanics as well, that's a pretty good choice. Beat, yeah, also valid. So you want to try and pulse bomb one of the supports, and if you don't see an opportunity to, then what you can do is you can pulse bomb where Doomfist is about to land with his ultimate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
Alright,
But you need to farm it up. You need to farm it up. You need to go out there and get shit done. Tracer's too fast. She doesn't have time to sit around. You go around, you start clicking people.
We've got any ults coming online though, so next push is gonna be brutal.
And what you can do is you can exploit high grounds so that you can engage the enemy team without them being able to engage you back.
Yeah.
Take a look at Nambani's. Look at all this map that never gets used. But you can blink onto Perch here, onto Pass. You can start shooting at people from Cafe. You know, you can drop down to the bridge, jump up, jump on a Perch, follow them onto the bus. You can, like, follow them the whole fucking way back. You can blink up to here if you get chased. Just stand on the high ground and just be like a wasp. Just be a gnat that bites at them. And you're not worth the effort to deal with, but they're there. Okay. Who on the enemy team can insta-kill you? Doomfist. He can't get up high ground super easily, though. He's very predictable, so not really a concern. D.Va's kind of annoying, but not really likely to kill you. So there's no one on this team that can punish you for doing this. So you could just go forward and just tickle them and just be annoying.
That's it.
Did they use beat Shatter?
If you don't kill anyone, but you take 2 people's worth of effort to deal with at all times, you are providing value for your team.
I'm dropping.
1 is acceptable. 1 person value is acceptable, but it's suboptimal.
Reaper's on me at high ground.
Okay.
I'm so dead.
You know what? I'll accept that as a pulse bomb. We've established before that killing Reinhardt makes it easy to win. Unfortunately, though, your high ground has been cleared, so that win condition is no longer valid. Valkyrie's already been out, so Beat is the only thing they have left. There's no real way that you're gonna stick at Lucio, though. I've seen your tries.
I've done it once. Literally only once.
You've not achieved anything this team fight. You stuck the Rhine, so, you know, gold star, but you haven't done anything since then.
Yeah.
I mean, of course.
You might want to get out there, Rissa.
Nah.
And of course you don't get him because he's got Wraith Form up.
Switch.
I wasn't actually aiming for him, to be honest. I would class that as a miss.
Yeah.
So long.
What could you have done about that fight? I mean, you didn't really do anything that fight, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with better target priority. Would have been nice if you could have taken out this Doomfist, but... So I'm going to say, actually, your mistake was giving up high ground too early. When do you give up high ground? If Twitch feels like cooperating, Twitch invite best buddies.
On the low. There's a...
Okay, so up here...
They're anti up there?
If you see the Doomfist up there, you could blink over and deal with him. Now, I know it's said to trust your team on it, but if you know he's got ultimate, you can blink over there and just take him out.
Yeah.
Reaper's on me at high ground.
Okay. He doesn't actually get anyone with his ultimate, it looks like. Yeah, his ultimate doesn't do much. But it clears the high ground, which is really important.
Nice stick.
There's
Reaper
Reaper,
on point. Focuser.
Reaper and Doomfist on me on the low. I'm down.
You're just sort of hanging around like, yeah, you want the Mercy,
Digital
but
healing.
honestly, when it gets into a brawl like this, it might be better to just focus down whatever your team's shooting at.
Is it
Yeah.
a winnable fight?
Now, your team doesn't have an active target caller right now.
I mean, of course.
It is a solo queue team, or a trio queue team in your case.
You might want to get out there.
Is it trio? It might be. It doesn't matter. Your team doesn't have a caller, so what you can do is you can start calling out the person that you're attacking. It's a really strong way, especially if you're playing main tank, to influence how the fight goes.
Yeah.
Go D.Va, keep the earth.
That stall, I don't think that stall was super beneficial. If your team had used that time to group up, it would have been fine. Because Tracer getting shit spawned isn't a big deal. You've got to camp this body. You don't necessarily have to kill the Mercy, but you have to not die. Okay. Most predictable shit I've ever seen. Okay.
Dropping the bear.
Yeah, so they're like 3 down now. Just go in and clean up. Farm your pulse bomb up. Yeah, all very nice so
Minus
far.
the bear. Halting them.
You're a little low on health, you've got no recall. Okay, unnecessary stick.
Good explosion now.
Yeah.
Long enough.
Nice. Nice. You blink straight at him again, but you don't get punished this time.
Okay.
Very easily could have been though.
Yeah, never blink straight at somebody.
Lucio, try to hold on to that ult for the attack rise or death loss.
Yeah.
Like,
When should I put Curse?
I should have taken a different route here. This was just.
more or less.
Yeah, you're very much frontlining right now. Like,
By starting.
what you're shooting at is fine, but I'd much prefer if you were fighting on the control point rather than on the payload.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was humming down.
Oh, big rip.
Unfortunately.
Not much you could have done about that, I'm afraid.
So you just can't deal with it.
No! Okay.
Oh, fuck.
So what should you have done there? Well... You can't spawn camp right now.
Yeah. At this point, I should have just left.
Yeah, this clipping him was fine. You should have blinked out, though, not recalled. Because you have to be moving in a direction, right, if you're trying to get out. But you
Yeah.
actually recall into the enemy team and
Oh,
get
fuck.
punished for it pretty hard.
Yep.
If you're going to
Yeah, he was-
hide
he
and
was
not
solid.
reset,
I like D.Va.
which did look like your plan,
Should have blinked to the mega that was.
you've got to
on-
make it more effort to deal with than you're worth.
Hey, Widow,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on,
So,
like, a Junkrat
you're
versus-
maximizing the threat there and minimizing how difficult it is to deal with you. Don't... Okay. He could have been right around that corner. He could have just one-shot you. Like, imagine there was a McCree with a flashbang and you see what my issue
Yeah.
is. Okay, you contest to the last second.
That
I
feel when you see that
You,
can barrier it.
yeah, okay. So this is what I was gonna say: is you blink on so late that you give yourself no time to breathe. Like, okay, what do you gain by waiting this long? Because we know what you lost is you lost the ability to blink off payload for a second.
Yeah. Okay. I'm. Again, like what? 5% ult charge where it wasn't worth it.
I put Coalescence?
Well, this thing where you sort of poke like this is fine.
That feel when you see that you
This
can
thing that
barrier
you're doing here, but you back off cart, which would have been fine if you hadn't let it get that far. Honestly.
Yeah.
it. Oh, that
Okay,
makes so much
so between fights, before a fight starts, you're looking for an opportunity to get a kill, to get an advantage. In the same way that Sombra is, it's just a little harder for you to do it, because you can only get a kill, whereas Sombra has other kinds of advantages you can generate. But you want to be building up most of your pulse bomb charge between fights or during a fight.
much higher up to
Like,
where
once the fight's over, once you're confident that your team can't lose, then you could just go ham on people and just start taking them out for the
I
ult
like
charge.
Moira quite a
Um,
bit, actually.
Poking before a fight on Tracer isn't super effective.
Come on, I got
Reaper's
double teamed.
Okay, you got unlucky there, but that's also shit game sense on your part. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
Why are you standing there? There's no reason for you
Come
to be
on,
stood
I got
there.
double teamed.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Soldier,
You also don't call it out which means that he
Guys,
gets in a
okay,
decent
please.
position of
Let's play
visor. Didn't mean anything in the end, but it definitely could have.
Oh yeah, shit. I just realized they didn't say anything. That was.
Didn't say anything about Reaper either, and that did definitely mean something. Okay.
Fuck me, you fucking piece of shit!
I'm just gonna mute that and spare you.
Yeah. I was kind of annoyed.
Okay, so your trigger discipline's pretty bad. You're firing when you're not actually on the target. So you need to kind of recognize when you're not tracking perfectly and just hold on for a little bit longer, so you don't have to reload as often. And then try and get people in 2 clips. Okay. Why did you lose that? Good question. I think honestly the real answer is that you weren't getting any value. You weren't getting anything done on Tracer. You ended the last round with 36 eliminations, and now you have 40. The only reason you still have the gold medal is because you had it at the beginning of last game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, your offense was fine, but your defense Tracer's tough, but not impossible, and you're not playing the defense game properly.
Yeah. No, I felt like that might have been an issue. I think I understand it more now, though.
There's a lot of downtime. You're like when you're on offense, you seem pretty willing to just like go into the enemy backline, just casually go in the enemy backline once the offense has been defeated. You need to have that same confidence on defense as well, and feel comfortable going up to the enemy spawn and just being annoying, and just building ult charge and just generally looking for opportunity. Like you could have one-clipped to Zen if you'd gone forward enough. It might have happened, maybe not. Doesn't matter. You weren't there for the opportunity, so. It's a positional failure that cost you a lot on this first point. If the worst kind of Tracer is a Tracer that's always alive, not the Tracer that gets lots of kills, the Tracer that is always alive, always annoying, and always needs dealing with.
Yep.
Okay.
I need to just always be doing something. I can't just be stood around waiting for the enemy team.
Whenever the enemy team thinks like they're safe, you need to show them why they're wrong. And that's why Pulse Bomb's so good, is because Pulse Bomb means that if you've got it up, which you could always have, because it's not very predictable when you're going to get it, because the margin of error is too wide, right? So if we say Zarya gets her ult every 3 fights, you can estimate she could get it in 2 fights or 4 fights. If Tracer gets her ultimate every other fight, that could be twice a fight, or it could be every other fight. So it's super hard to predict when Tracer's going to get her ultimate. So, what do you need to be doing? Well, you need to be annoying the enemy team more. That way you'll get more pulse bombs up, and you can use that pulse bomb to threaten people. What do I want you to work on? I want you to work on sticking squishies. If you can really nail sticking people, and everyone's fucking terrified of you, constantly is always on edge, they're going to end up tilting. Not maybe in the traditional annoyed sense, though maybe they will, but they're going to be nervous, they're going to be off their game, and you're gonna, like, someone in the enemy team is gonna be constantly dead or constantly dealing with you, maybe more than one person. So, okay. So number 1, work on sticking people. 2, you should feel more confident when you're pushing into the enemy team, on defense especially, to just run around spawn and just like be annoying and make them deal with you. And 3 is to always know where the nearest health pack is and the fastest way to get there. Okay, you know how Sombras? Low-level Sombras will tie themselves to a health pack, where they'll throw a translocate on the health pack, and they'll run out, and they'll do something, and they'll translocate back, and they'll just perform that loop over and over. You want to do that with Tracer, but only make it a mental link. Don't make it like an actual physical link. Though maybe link yourself to a high ground with recall, if you want to play that way, to play super safe. But just know where the nearest health pack is, play within range of that health pack. And know, how many blinks is it going to take me to get there? Well, I can get in the building in 1 blink, so I only need 1 blink to get there. Even if it takes me, like another second to get in it and get on the health pack, I should be fine. So, yes, those are your 3. Keep working on it, dude. You're playing very well. The only real issue that you have is that you don't always know what you need to be doing against a team.
Yeah.
And at some point, you're going to get to the level where I can't answer that question anymore. And it's going to have to be, well, what can you do against this Zen? Well, I mean, he's protected by the Soldier and the Lucio, so that it's going to be really annoying to clip him. So you've got to pay attention to him and just generally distract him rather than trying to go for the one clip all the time. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe we're done. Okay.
Okay.
Do you have any questions? I don't think I've asked that.
Just I suppose like I'm not really sure how to phrase this, but like, how do you like know how how do you like come up with like what to do like on the fly? Like I know that sounds sort of like a ridiculous.
Deciding what your win condition is.
Yeah.
No, it's a very fair question. It's actually not something I entirely know the answer to, but a big part of it is going to be experience, is knowing how Zen works and how Zen interacts with Lucio. So when they're playing Zen and Lucio, Lucio's protecting the Zen. That's his job in this composition, is to keep Zen alive. But you know then if Lucio's frontlining, Zen's available, so you can keep an eye on him. It's a bit of a game of psychology. You might have to stop, stand still and spawn, and think for a bit.
Yeah.
But the more time you spend doing it, the better you'll get. Just practice. Just practice. Playing a lot of heroes helps a lot as well, because I've had a different hero in my top 3 for every season, so I have a solid grasp of what every single hero wants, except maybe like snipers. So this Reinhardt, when he's got Earth Shatter, what does he want with it? Well, he wants to hit the whole team, ideally. He wants to get the tanks down. He wants to make it super exposed so your team can clean everyone up. But he can't do that because it's all on high ground. So you know that he's not a factor. And it's just thinking through like that. It's not... I didn't make any logical leaps there. That was all information that you know.
Yeah.
It's just a question of figuring out, I guess.
Yeah, it's just like putting
Super vague answer for a super vague question.
No, I think that does help. Just like, yeah, it's just taking the time to just think it out.
Practice. What you can do as well is you can watch like pro play or whatever, and you'll think, okay, pause it and go, okay, what does this guy want? What does this guy want to do? What does he want to do? What does he want to do? What is he gonna do? This guy wants this thing, which is going to counter this thing. What's he going to do in response? What's his reaction going to be? And you can plan all of this out. You can make predictions for a team fight. And then you can see what was right and what was wrong. And eventually, you'll build up this mythical thing known as game sense. But, yeah. Lol, Noob Tracer.
I know, right? I mean, he's not entirely wrong.
I just like this particular screenshot. He probably got that impression on the second round more than the first one.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I'm going to call the stream here.
Alright.
Someone's
Thanks for
pinging
the
me on Discord. Hang on. Yeah, this is fine. Oh, god damn it. Right, I'm being dragged off somewhere. Right, I'll see you in a minute. In a minute, later, in a month, whatever. Bye.
Bye.